Hello and welcome everyone. In this video tutorial, we will talk about Django template system. So we will start off this video by giving an introduction to what is this Django template system. Then we will understand how we can use this Django template system. And in the last, we will discuss one example where we will render a template in Django. So without any further delay, let's jump to the very first topic and let's understand what is this Django template system. Now, in the previous tutorial, we have discussed how we can return a simple text as a result of a view, but it is not always efficient. There will be many instances where we need to return full HTML pages. So Django allows developer to dynamically produce HTML, and this can be done by utilizing templates. So templates is an efficient way of returning HTML. A template includes both static components of the desired HTML output and some unique syntax that specifies where dynamic content will be added. Now, regardless of the backend, Django utilizes a uniform API for loading as well as rendering template. Now, what is this loading? So loading includes recognizing the template for the given identifier and compiling it to an in-memory representation. On the other hand, rendering is the process of interpolating context into the template and returning the result. So the main overall motive of Django template system is to provide a mechanism through which we can return proper web pages. Now let's move forward and let's understand how we can use this Django template system. Now for this, what we need to do, we need to configure our Django project for template, and for this we need to follow up some steps. So now what I will do, I will move back to my Visual Studio Code. Let me close it. So here we need to move to the settings.py file. Now in the settings.py file, what we need to do, first we need to import the OS module. So I will type import OS. Then we need to came down and we need to provide the value for this dir. So here I will type os.path.join. Then I need to define the base directory, and then I need to define templates. So what I am doing here, by this I am defining the place where all the templates, or we can say all the HTML files, will be stored. Now next, what we need to do, we need to create one templates directory within the same directory where manage.py file is been located. Now I have already created this templates directory, and we have to make sure this thing that this template directory is in the same directory where manage.py file is been located. And with this we are ready to use the Django template system. Now let's move forward to the next topic and let's understand how we can render a template. Now to render a template, we will discuss an example related to it in Django. So here what we will do, first we will create a view named index, and in the index view we will use the render function to render the index.html page. Now the main role of this render function is to combine the template with a directory type value and return an HTTP response object. Now here on the screen you can see the syntax for the render function. Now in this render function, very first parameter is this request, which is utilized to generate a response for our view. Then the next parameter is template underscore name. Now this parameter is used to define the template. So basically we will use this parameter to define the HTML page. Now after this, the next parameter is the context. The context is utilized to display the dictionary of values on the template. And after this, there are some optional parameters like context type, status, using. We will discuss about them in the coming tutorials, but let's understand the use of this render function with the help of an example. So I will move back to my VS Code. In the VS Code, first I will open my views.py file, and here I will create one more view. So I will type def, and this time I will name my view as index, and in the index I need to pass request as a parameter. Now in the body, what I will do, I will simply return the render function. Now this render function is a part of Django.shortcuts module. So I have already written this thing from Django.shortcuts import render, and within this render function I will simply define two values. Very first is this request, and second I will define the value for template name, and the value for the template name should be passed in the form of string. So I will here pass the value as index.html. So what will happen when we redirect to this index view, it will return the data from the index.html page. Now next, what we need to do, we need to create a index.html file. So I have already created this index.html file and we have to make sure that we create this file in the templates directory. So I have already created this. Now in this I have simply defined one heading and one paragraph. So after defining the HTML page, what we need to do, we need to define the URL for our view. So I will open the urls.py file which is there in my home application, and here what I will do, I will define path. Now let me keep it as empty only. Then we need to define the view. So I will type views dot index, and then I need to define the name, and I will name it as index only. So with this I have defined this view. Now what will happen, whenever I will redirect to the index URL, it will redirect it to this path, and the index view will be executed. And what the index view will do, it will return an HTML page. Now let's run the Django server. So I will open my terminal. Let me open command from terminal. First, what I need to do, I need to activate my virtual environment. I will activate it. Let me clear the screen. Then I have to move to the project directory. So I will write. Now I am in my project directory. Now I will simply write python manage.py run server. Now let's open this URL. And here I need to specify index and hit enter. Now here you can see I'm getting this error, template does not exist at index. Now why this error has been occurred? Because I have made one small mistake here. I make a spelling mistake with templates. So the name of the directory is templates. Once I correct this spelling, and then again if I refresh the page, it will return me the result. So with this we have come to the end of this tutorial, where we have discussed about Django template system, and we have also implemented one example where we have understood how we can render one template in Django. So thank you so much for watching this video. We will see you in the next one.